Imagine spending your entire life chasing one dream, training every day, sacrificing everything, fighting through injuries, failures, and pressure. Then finally, you make the national team. Millions of fans are waiting. The biggest tournament on earth is only days away. Your name is about to be announced to the world. But then you disappear. No goodbye, no phone call, no message, no trace. One day you're preparing for the biggest match of your life, and the next day you're gone. This is the chilling story of the player who vanished before a major tournament, and to this day, nobody knows exactly what happened. The story begins in the months leading up to one of the biggest football tournaments in the world. The entire country was excited. Fans filled stadiums. News channels talked about nothing except football. Everywhere people were discussing one thing: who would make the final squad. Among the players hoping to be selected was a young rising star. At just 24 years old, he had become one of the most exciting talents in the country. Fast, confident, fearless. Many believed he would become one of the future legends of football. His performances had attracted attention from major clubs. Reporters constantly asked about his future. Fans wore his jersey. Children copied his celebrations. Everything seemed perfect, but nobody knew that strange things had already started happening. A few teammates later claimed he had become unusually quiet. Normally, he was energetic and outgoing. Now he often sat alone, lost in thought, sometimes staring out windows for long periods without speaking. When friends asked if everything was okay, he always smiled and said yes. But according to those closest to him, something felt different. At first, nobody thought much of it. Tournament pressure affects every athlete. The closer the competition gets, the greater the stress becomes, so everyone assumed he was simply focused, nothing more. Then came the final training camp. Squad gathered at a private facility away from the public. Security was tight. Media access was limited. Players spent their days training, eating, resting, and preparing. Everything followed a strict schedule. Yet during the second week of camp, several players reported something unusual. Late at night, they would see the young footballer walking alone, not around the training ground, not near the dormitories, but far beyond the facility fence, toward an old wooded area nearby. Nobody understood why. When questioned, he simply laughed and changed the subject. One teammate later recalled asking him where he kept going every night. The player reportedly responded with a strange answer. He said, "Someone keeps calling me." Everyone assumed he was joking, but the look on his face suggested otherwise. Days passed. The tournament grew closer. Then strange rumors began spreading among staff members. A groundskeeper claimed he saw the player standing alone in the darkness around 3 o'clock in the morning, completely motionless, facing the trees as though he was waiting for someone. The groundskeeper called his name. No response. Only after several seconds did the footballer slowly turn around, then calmly walk back toward the facility. The incident left the worker deeply unsettled, but things were about to become even stranger. 3 days before the team's departure, security cameras captured the player leaving his room shortly after midnight. He appeared calm, wearing casual clothes, no luggage, no backpack, nothing unusual. The footage showed him walking toward the main gate, and then no camera captured him returning. The following morning, his teammates assumed he had gone for an early run. Breakfast came and went, no sign of him. Training started, still nothing. Coaches became concerned. Calls went unanswered. His room remained empty. Hours later, security reviewed the footage. What they found shocked everyone. The player had clearly left the facility, but there was no footage showing where he went next. No witnesses, no taxi record, no bank activity, no phone signal, nothing. It was as if he had simply vanished into thin air. The news exploded across the country. Television stations interrupted regular programming. Fans flooded social media. Search teams were immediately organized. Police searched forests, roads, abandoned buildings in nearby towns. Helicopters scanned large areas from above. Investigators interviewed friends, teammates, family members, and staff. Everyone was asked the same question. Did he say anything unusual? Most answers were similar. No, not really, except for one detail. Several people remembered his strange comment, the one he had made days earlier. "Someone keeps calling me." Investigators initially dismissed the statement. They focused on practical explanations. Maybe he left voluntarily. Maybe he was under pressure. Maybe he wanted to escape the spotlight. But none of those theories fully explained the evidence. He left behind his passport, his wallet, his personal belongings. Even his football boots remained inside his room. For someone supposedly planning to disappear, he took almost nothing. As days turned into weeks, theories began multiplying. Some believed criminal involvement was responsible. Others suspected a mental health crisis. Conspiracy theories spread online, each more bizarre than the last. Yet none provided answers. Months passed, then years. The tournament ended. New players emerged. New headlines appeared. Life moved on. But the mystery remained. To this day, people continue debating what happened. Some believe he walked away from football forever. Others think something tragic happened that night. And there are still those who believe the strangest theory of all, that whatever or whoever was calling him into the darkness finally got him. Today, the player's name has largely faded from public memory. The stadiums are quieter. The crowds have moved on. The tournament belongs to history. Yet somewhere out there, the answer still exists, maybe hidden in an old police file, maybe buried in a forgotten witness statement, or maybe lost forever. Because sometimes the most terrifying mysteries aren't about ghosts or monsters. They're about real people who walk out the door one night and are never seen again. And that's why the story of the player who vanished before the World Cup continues to haunt football fans to this very day.